Whether you are completely new to tabletop role-playing or simply transitioning from traditional heroic fantasy to weird fantasy, this volume contains the perfect collection of adventures with which to introduce you and your players to weird fantasy and immerse them in the gaming goodness. See, in role-playing world, people think the game is the thing. So what the supplements and adventures get people excited, people still think that the entry point of any game is the rule book, so they get that. From a business perspective, I can't complain. Creatively, putting the rule book together was a fair bit of work, but it is obviously an adaptation of existing work. I don't consider myself a game designer. I'm a terraformer, taking an old game and adapting it into something new. And as a product, it works. I guess I should mention for the good of the business that many people tell me that as a rule books go, it's rock solid and best fit for its purpose. That may be so, but I don't think it's the rule book which makes our weird fantasy popular. I think it's the adventures, each one showing that how you play a game and the attitude injected into it are more important than the rules used to play. James Edward Raggy IV. Hello, this is your RPG archivist with the fifth and final segment or episode, whichever you want to call it, for Adventure Anthology Fire for Lamentations of the Flame Princess. My book in the back just fell over. There went my set. Yes, we have gone through each and every one of these adventures. The Tower of the Stargazer, the God that Crawls, Monolith from Beyond Time and Space, the Doom Cave of the Crystal-Headed Children. Yes, each one. If you want to find out my detailed review, if you even want to call them reviews, I'm really not sure you would call them a reviews. It's more like a spotlight. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to check them out, go back, check them out. This will also be in the Lamentations of the Flame Princess playlist, of course, duh. So let's get started, because this time we're talking about the book itself. And, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of repeating here. But stick with me. There's some more content to go. Let's briefly talk about the adventures first. Tower of the Stargazer. Yeah, this is a great adventure to get people started to learn about the rules for Lamentation of the Flame Princess. Look at this map, whole map, inside cover, right there. Everything you need right there. Love it. It's a wizard's tower. And, oh, wizard's tower, how cliche. But I'm like thinking, think about it. The wizard's tower is supposed to be like this big cliche. How many times have you actually adventured in a wizard's tower? I can think of maybe once that I've done it. Was Ghost Tower of Inverness a wizard's tower? I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah, but it's a great adventure. It's a solid adventure. This is the adventure I would introduce my players to Lamentations of the Flame Princess for. And this is the Lamentations of the Flame Princess equivalent to my DCC favorite, Portal Under the Stars. If they made like a deluxe version of Lamentations of the Flame Princess rulebook, this is the adventure I would put in that rulebook. Hands down. Good, weird, creepy stuff. Alright, let's skip over to the next one. Look at these nice tabs. I want to point these out. You can't really see it very well with this light. By the way, how do you like my new set so far? I've got things to do. I'm doing a major reworking of my bedroom so that I could work in here in the peace and quiet. The God That Crawls. Oh my God. This is hands down my favorite of all the adventures in this book. You've got your players running desperately through hallways trying to escape this unkillable monster. Meanwhile, there's some really nice treasure along the way. Do we grab the treasure? Do we fight the monster? How do you kill the monster? Can the monster be killed? And what treasure? What more treasure can we find? Ah, yes. A fine adventure for Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I don't think I've ever seen an adventure quite like this one, and I'm super happy about it. I want to talk about the map, however. Notice you got this black and white map. This was smart, putting the map in the book in case you lost this thing. This is a gorgeous... Here, let me just put the book away for a minute. I'll leave it on the ground. Look at this. Absolute gorgeous color map, which is very needed for this adventure. The black, you can do it with the black and white, but I'm telling you, the color map is a must-have. Now, there is a small disadvantage to the map, but I hate to point it out. I really do. I hope this was just a one-time problem. I'm afraid it might not be. Oh, look at that. There's a problem. This is where it was glued into, and this isn't like that Wizards of the Coast glue that just, for whatever reason, it sticks but doesn't stick. Yeah, this really did stick. Had a little bit of damage there. Had a little bit of trouble reading that there. But I did read it, and if I had to choose between risking the damage in the book and not having the color map, give me the color map. Definitely, 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 the color map is awesome. Need that color map. Hopefully, if they ever do this again in the future, they'll have this glue situation figured out. But better to have it here than to have it here. That's the map for the next adventure we're going to talk about. Oh, and before I move on, you guys might want to check this out. This is the other side of that amazing color map. Put that in a poster frame and stick it on your wall. Nice. Okay. Third adventure. This is the biggest of the adventures because it's mostly random tables. Doom Cave of the Crystal-Headed Children. Look how thick that is compared to the rest of the book. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Hope that didn't show up on camera. I saw something I didn't want in there. Yeah, gotta be careful. When you're looking at Lamentations of Flame Princess stuff and you're showing it on YouTube or whatever, you gotta be careful not to show pictures, some of the pictures. With the exception of the one picture in this book, I think all the other pictures are safe content, but there's just just one picture that, oh my gosh, I should have like took a paper clip and clipped it shut so I wouldn't risk it. This is a 18 plus game, folks, and it wears it on its sleeve, and it's in the Doom Cave of the Crystal-Headed Children is where it starts to show up. I'm not going to flip through that one I don't want to risk turning to that particular page. It's my least favorite, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. It's a good adventure. It's super random, and it's a killer, as most Lamentations games are, but it's a very entertaining killer. And if you have a group with a good sense of humor and a sense of exploration, you're all going to have a good time with it. And finally, my second favorite, all the way at the end. I just reviewed this. Yeah. The Monolith from Beyond Space and Time. Yeah. This was very close to being my favorite. I haven't seen an adventure like this. They come up with some very original stuff. They really do. Or I should say James does. Every one of these adventures are written by James Raggy the Fourth. James Edward Raggy the Fourth. I'm sorry. Do I have to say all four names? All three? The whole thing? I don't know. I don't know. How do you get a name like that? That's gotta be a pen name. It's gotta be. But yeah, this is a mind trip. It is fun. I really can't explain it much further than that. If you want the details, as many as I was able to give you, go back, look at the video I made for it. This one has no map, by the way, because there's no way you can map it, because the map is whatever it turns out to be randomly. By the way, there's the Doom Cave map. Nice color. Nice and in color. And don't let that fool you. It could be way different than you think it is. That's just the best visual representation you could get. So the book overall, yeah. Ooh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's got one of these. I don't know if these are cool or obnoxious, because I like them. I think these are really neat. But I don't use them that much. I'm usually using index cards or usually the receipt that I used to purchase the book. That's what usually ends up being my bookmarker. I like them though. I think they're cool. Look at that. I don't know much about binding, but this looks like what they're calling a stitched binding. Let me put it on this side, which is supposed to be like the best binding. So this book is going to last. At least I think it is. I'm not a professional. What do I know? The book is beautiful. All the adventures are fantastic. They're very Lamentations. Get this book, guys. Even if you don't have the rulebook for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, you could pick this up and get a lot of really good inspiration from it. You really can. Even for the most recent edition of 5th edition. 5th edition. That didn't come out right. You know what I'm talking about. That other game. Yeah, this is a really good book. But again, 18 plus content. Game Masters, you can edit the 18 plus stuff from your game. It's not that hard. It's not like a thing that is integral to the adventure itself. Yeah, but you should know that. You're a referee. Referees can do what they want. Once you buy a product, it's yours, and you could hack it any way you want. And this is immensely hackable and very, very good. This is a good read. Now, I have only one other Lamentations of the Flame Princess book in my library. However, with the pandemic going on, I'm not sure we're ready for the month of death. I need a palate cleanser anyway, guys. It was too much of a good thing, is what it was. Too much of a good thing. I'm going to do some easy peasy videos for a bit. I might even skip a week or two. I don't know. Hope you enjoyed the video. This has been your RPG Archivist, and see ya!